Okay, hello. As promised, here are the video rules to the game of Bullseye. First I'm going to explain the quick play version, which is the easier version of the game. It only takes about 15 minutes to play by this version. The goal in the game of Bullseye is very simple. You want to be the first to score 100 points. You do this each round by making a word, totaling up the point value of that word, and advancing your token that number of points. Along the way you'll see you have red targets and black targets. Do not be intimidated by this board. There are a lot of numbers, but it's just a scoreboard from 0 to 100. There are 4 different quadrants from 0 to 100 with the same red targets and black targets in each quadrant. If you land on a red target during your turn, you pick the next red card in the stack. There's a bonus attached to every one of these red cards. It's some advantage, either an instant on-the-spot bonus, you move forward a certain number of points, or you get an advantage in the next round that no one else has. If you land on a black target, it's a chance opportunity. You would pick the next card from the black pile and follow the consequence there. Some of these are really good and some of them are nasty penalties. So take your chances. The game is set up. Your red consequence cards are on the red slot. The black consequence cards are on their spot. And you've got your playing tokens on the start markers. You divide the cards into the number of people playing. It doesn't have to be exact. Say there are 4 people playing, just make 4 roughly equal stacks. Give a stack to each player. At the beginning of each hand, each player deals himself 7 cards. In this easy version of the game, the die is only used to keep track of who scores first each round. So let's say in this opening round that purple would be going first. We would just put the die in the purple marker in the center of the ring. So each player now has 7 cards and the round will start. The 1-minute timer is started, and at that point each player overturns his cards and spreads them out in front of him. Players then have 1 minute to come up with their best word. And remember, the best word in this game is not always your highest scoring word. The reason for that is the targets. And note that the values on the letters have not been uniformly assigned. So here we've got 2 E's, one's worth 0 points and one's worth 4 points. So you have to decide which one it is you want to use in your word. At the end of 1 minute, the timer is stopped and all players then score their rounds. While everyone makes their words at the same time in this game, it's really important to score one at a time, because the consequence cards can affect other people's position on the board. Now let's take a look at each word made. The purple player made the word based. Again, the 2 different E's. With that E, this would have added up to 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 6 points. But using this other E, got a total of 10. In this case, the highest scoring word would be the best for the purple player, because 10 is your first red target on the board. So purple would move to 10, pick a red card that says, in the next round you can make any of your 7 cards wild. It can be any letter, but the card value remains the same. So that's a bonus that the purple player has in the next round that no one else has. Now the yellow player made the word king. This card right here with the bullseye symbol on it is the best card in the deck. It's a wild card, it's any letter, and it has a value from 0 to 6 points. The easiest way to score is always add up your fixed valued cards first. So you got 5 plus 4 is 9, so yellow has to move at least 9 points. And then has the option of moving anywhere from 0 to 6 more points. So it could stay on 9 and could go as far as 15, which is 6 more. On the way there, you've got 2 different targets. So yellow has an option of taking the full 5 points or the full 6 points, taking 1 point from that wild card and picking a red card, or taking 3 points from that wild card and going to 12, taking a chance on a black card. And in this case, it's a tough call. We could take a look and see what would happen. A red card would get move to the next highest red bullseye. Move to 90 if you're currently on 80. Turn ends. So in this case, it would be a 10-point bonus. You would not pick another card. That's why it says turn ends. So you wouldn't pick another red card even though you landed on a target again. If yellow had chosen to take 12 total points, you always put your cards at the bottom of the pile after they're used. It says advance your score by the total points of the word you made this round. So in this case, it's the way you declared it. So that would have been declared as 12 points from the possible 15. It was declared as 12. So yellow would advance 12 more points, going to 24. In this case, the best move would have been to take the black card. The blue player made the word axle. This card right here with nothing on it is a blank. It's any letter, but it has no value. So axle has two variable cards in it. The X is worth 7 points. Blue has to move at least 7, but then has anywhere from 0 to 1 and 0 to 2. So anywhere up to 3 more points. And in this case, blue would want to use all 3 of those points to get to 10. Pick a red card, add 5 points to your score. Then this card move 5 more points. If there happened to have been a black target there, this is one of those cards that could have triggered a second pick. If it had said move 2 points, would have gone to 12 and pick a black card. Moving on to the orange player, made the word elk, which had 2 points, have to move, and then up to another 7 points. The E is worth 0 to 1, the K is 0 to 6. So up to 7 more points, and that's only going to take orange to 9. It doesn't hit a target, but you might as well maximize your score at this point since you can't hit any targets on the way. At the end of each round, all cards, used and unused from that round, go into one pile, face up on the table, to remind you which cards are used at the table. In the next round, everyone would take 7 new cards. The die would move to the yellow player. Yellow would score first when the minute was up. Everyone would move forward again. And you play that way right to the end of the game. In this easy version, you'll see the 90 target is colored green. You do not pick a card at 90 in either version. But you'll also notice there are no numbers between 90 and 100. So that means you're going to have to make at least a 10-point word to win the game. You do have to hit this 100-point target exactly to win. So if you're at 87 toward the end of the game, you would need a 13-point word to win. Or you could make up to a 3-point word to move forward. If you made a 4-point word at 87, you wouldn't move at all, because 87 plus 4 would take you to 91. There is no 91. You just don't move that turn. If you're at 89, you need an 11-point word to win. If you're at 80, you could win with a 20-point word. So you can win from anywhere on the board in this easy version. Everyone has a chance during the scoring round at the end to get to 100. If 2 people get there, or 2 or more people get there, you play a tiebreaker, which is just dealing 7 more cards. You get 1 minute to make your highest valued word at that point. Just remember too, at the end of the game, when someone does reach 100, that person is automatically immune from any penalties at that point. Even though that person may have scored first, someone else might pick a card that says, you know, swap scores with the player to your right. If purple picked a card that said swap scores with the player to the right, that card would become useless at that point because the player to purple's right is immune from all penalties at that point. Same thing if it said all players but you move back 5 points right now. Again, orange can only be tied. They cannot lose the game at that point anymore. So once you're on 100, you can't be taken off 100. And that's the way the easy version is played. It's very quick. Also, something to mention about the way we designed the board. You'll notice each row goes by tens. So it actually makes counting very easy. Some people have asked, why didn't we go 10, 11, and then just snake our way back and forth up the board? The reason is because it really makes it easy to count this way. If you had a score of 13 and you're at 45, instead of counting out 13 spaces, you just move up 10, 11, 12, 13. It simplifies the process. I just wanted to mention something about some interesting scoring examples that happen in the game. Sometimes a scoring event triggers a secondary scoring event for another player. In this example, suppose purple was on 30 and orange was on 41. Let's say the round just ended and orange made a word that was worth 4 points, which would move 1, 2, 3, 4. Orange would land on a black target, have to pick a black card. This card right here says swap scores with the player to your left. Now right now the player to the left of orange is purple, and they both happen to be on targets. So purple would move to 45, orange would move to 30. So there's purple to 45, orange to 30. They both just hit another target. And there's nothing on this card that says anything about turn ends or no additional card picking as a result. So there are 2 more cards that need to be picked, at least 2 more at this point. Because it's orange's turn to score, orange would pick off the red pile first, and it says after this scoring round, play a bonus round by yourself. You roll the die, 7 cards in 1 minute only. Previous playing order resumes afterwards. So orange would hold on to that card. After all the scoring has been done for that round, orange would get to play a round all by himself. Just 7 cards and 1 more minute on the die, make a word, and that's your bonus. You move the value of that word. Purple would now orange is done scoring. So purple would now pick off the black pile. All of the players each roll the die now and deduct the rolled number from his or her score. No additional card picking as a result. So in this case, each player now, yellow would roll the die, move backward that number of points. Blue would do the same thing. Orange would do the same thing. If they landed on a target, in this case, they would not pick another card because it says no additional card picking as a result. After everybody did that, that would be the end of orange's scoring turn. It would now move clockwise to purple. Even though purple already picked a card that round, purple still may not have scored his word yet. So purple would then score his word. If yellow hadn't gone yet, yellow would score his word and blue would score the word. But that's the way that kind of situation works itself out. There's one other thing to mention. It's the case of a skunk hand, which is when you have no vowels or no consonants. In this case, there are no vowels in this hand, so there wouldn't be a word in there. But when that happens in this game, in either version, the easy or the challenge version, you can make any one of your 7 letters wild. So in this case, it actually turns into a really good thing. You could take this variable v, that's worth 0 to 6 points, and make the word axe. Make that an A. You got the word axe, which is worth now up to 13 points. Continue on to the next video to see how the challenging version is played. There's a lot more complexity to that version and some more strategy, especially at the end of the game.